Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, we have a remarkable and inspiring story to share about a man whose spiritual journey took him across continents and through different faiths, leading to a profound personal transformation. Meet David Gould, a man from Tasmania, Australia, whose life was deeply rooted in Orthodox Christianity. From a young age, David's journey in the Orthodox faith was marked by unique challenges and deep introspection. Orthodox Christian background. David Gould lived in Tasmania, an island state of Australia known for its sparse population and relative isolation. In 1978, at the age of 16, he became connected with the Holy Cross Orthodox Church and converted to Orthodox Christianity. This was the beginning of a 45-year journey within the Orthodox faith. However, Gould's experience in the church was unusual from the start. In 1973, 5 years before Gould's conversion, the priest of his local church had passed away. Remarkably, the church remained without a resident priest for the next 21 years, until 1994. This prolonged absence of spiritual leadership had a profound impact on Gould's religious formation. Gould described his church during this period as a kind of community without leadership, which significantly shaped his religious life. This lack of guidance and formal structure may have contributed to his later struggles with faith and doctrine. Path to priesthood. Despite the lack of formal leadership, Gould remained active in the church. In 1994, he became a subdeacon, and in 2017, he was ordained as a deacon. However, throughout this time, Gould admitted to struggling with Christianity, suggesting that his faith was not as solid as one might expect from someone in church leadership. The turning point came when Gould approached his bishop about sending a priest to their community. Instead, the bishop suggested that Gould himself study theology to become the local priest. This decision, while solving the immediate leadership issue, had unforeseen consequences for Gould's faith. Theological studies and doubts. Gould's theological studies, rather than strengthening his faith, seemed to have the opposite effect. He began to drill down on the Bible and on church history, which led him to some controversial conclusions. He came to believe that the Bible has been shaped by theologians and the fathers of the church, after many years and indeed centuries after Christ. These studies also led Gould to question fundamental Christian doctrines, including the Trinity. He concluded that God is not three, God is one. God has no son. This rejection of core Christian beliefs suggests that Gould's understanding of Christian theology was diverging significantly from Orthodox teachings. It's worth noting that Gould's conclusions are not supported by mainstream biblical scholarship or Christian theology. His interpretation that the Bible was shaped centuries after Christ contradicts the well-established timeline of New Testament writings and early church history. Brief tenure as a priest. Despite his doubts and unorthodox beliefs, Gould completed his theological studies and was ordained as a priest. However, his tenure in this role was brief, lasting only 2 years. During this time, he continued to struggle with his faith, saying, "My life experience as a Christian, including struggling with Christianity." Interestingly, Gould's role as a priest was not his primary occupation. He worked full-time as a social worker in a hospital, serving as a priest for his small community without receiving a salary. This arrangement, while common in some small communities, may have contributed to a lack of full immersion in his priestly duties and spiritual life. Throughout his time as a priest, Gould continued to question and look outside of Christianity, saying he looked elsewhere, i.e., outside Christianity, saying, "Is this Christian faith right?" This ongoing search suggests that despite his position of leadership, Gould had not found spiritual fulfillment within Orthodox Christianity. These details paint a picture of a man who, despite decades of involvement in the Orthodox Church and even attaining the role of priest, never fully embraced or internalized the faith he was meant to represent and teach. This background sets the stage for understanding his eventual conversion to Islam, trip to Perth, and encounter with Islam. Gould's journey towards Islam began unexpectedly during a trip to Perth, a major city in Western Australia. He had traveled there to attend his brother-in-law's funeral. This personal loss may have put Gould in a reflective state of mind, potentially making him more open to new spiritual experiences. By chance, his hotel was located just 150 meters from Perth's central mosque. During one of his walks, Gould felt a sudden urge to visit the mosque. He later described this as a call, though he was initially nervous due to his position as an Orthodox priest. This internal conflict highlights the tension between his curiosity about Islam and his commitment to Christianity. Upon entering the mosque, Gould met an imam who gave him a Quran. Interestingly, Gould already owned a Quran at home but had not read much of it. His acceptance of this gift marked a significant moment, potentially opening his mind to seriously considering Islamic teachings. Hotel room experience. Back in his hotel room, Gould began reading the Quran with newfound interest. This reading session became a pivotal moment in his spiritual journey. He started to pray, seeking wisdom about the true path among Orthodox Christianity, Christianity as a whole, and Islam. Gould's approach to this spiritual crisis is noteworthy. He began by praying on his knees, a common Christian posture. But when no revelation came, he then prostrated himself, a position used in both Orthodox Christian and Islamic prayer. This physical shift might symbolize his spiritual transition. As he read the Quran, Gould experienced what he described as an intuitive, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual realization that he considered to be the true Word of God. It's important to note that Gould didn't specify which parts of the Quran he read, but he found its message compelling and relatable, possibly in contrast to the complex theology he had been grappling with in Christianity. Decision to convert. Following this experience, Gould made the significant decision to convert to Islam. He described it as realizing that what he had felt and known and understood was a lie, referring to his Christian beliefs. This dramatic shift in perspective led him to conclude that he could no longer continue as a Christian, let alone as a priest. Upon returning to Tasmania, Gould took decisive action. He wrote a letter to his bishop, resigning from his position as a priest and declaring the Shahada, the Muslim profession of faith, in the same letter. This abrupt departure from his community and faith of 45 years must have been a profound and likely difficult step. Aftermath of conversion. Gould's conversion was met with mixed reactions. The Muslim community welcomed him warmly, congratulating him on his decision. He adopted the Muslim name Abdul Rahman, signifying a complete embrace of his new faith. However, the transition wasn't without its challenges. Gould acknowledged that his conversion affected some of his friendships, indicating the social impact of his decision. Despite this, he stated that he was at peace with his choice. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life of David Gould, now known as Abdul Rahman. His story of spiritual exploration and transformation reminds us of the profound impact that faith and open-mindedness can have on our lives. If you found David's journey as inspiring as we did, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear your reflections and experiences. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories of faith, personal growth, and transformation. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest videos and continue to be part of this wonderful community. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.